Pulse or PulseX? That is the question. In this video, I'm going to share with you guys why I'm holding my PulseX over Pulsechain's native token, Pulse. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any opportunities. Let's get right into this. Let's go over the market cap and the supply for both tokens right now. So Pulse, you can see that they have 135 trillion supply, and right behind them is PulseX with 143 trillion. So just under 10 trillion more in terms of supply, which is not that far. They're pretty similar. And then when you compare the market cap, you have a 12 billion market cap here, and then you have a 4.8 billion market cap for PulseX. So with the supplies being very similar and PulseX burning slightly quicker than Pulse's, we can assume that the supplies will be equal, or potentially PulseX will have a smaller supply, will be less tokens, will be burning quicker than Pulse's. So with the market caps almost 2.5x for Pulse, PulseX can actually multiply quicker than Pulsechain can. There will need to be a ton of liquidity pouring into the Pulsechain ecosystem, pouring into Pulse for Pulse to double up and be worth 24 billion or 36 billion for a 2 to 3x from here, because the market cap's already huge. With PulseX, it can actually climb its way just where Pulse is to 12 billion, and that would be a 2.5x, and nothing crazy would have to change. So with PulseX, it is the number one DEX for the Pulsechain ecosystem. I don't think anything will overtake it. It doesn't make sense to use anything else unless you're incentivized. If we take a look at the pools that PulseX is offering right now, you get 31% APR if you pair up PulseX and your Pulse, but you might see impermanent loss. You might be left with the less underperforming token, which you don't want, of course. So I would just choose a good percentage that you're happy with, maybe 80% PulseX, 20% Pulse. If you think Pulse is going to do better than PulseX, let me know why. I'm waiting for single-sided staking where you could just stake your Pulsechain, where you could just stake your PulseX and earn an APY. If we look at the chart right here, we did see a high of almost half, so 0.5. So we saw that you'd have to trade 2 PulseX for 1 Pulse. And if we take a look back at the swap rate here, you can see that the rate is 1 Pulse equals 2.5 PulseX. So what I think is going to happen is we might see a run up on PulseX where more people start to use the ecosystem, more people are swapping. Right now, the conditions of the market aren't the best. There's a lot of fear, but when that changes, we'll see a lot of use in the DEX. We'll see a lot of burn in tokens. And to be honest, I've been watching this. The burn rate of Pulse has exponentially increased over the last few days. It was 50 billion burned, and this was 152 billion burned. So it was almost 3x, but this really caught up over the last few days, over the last week. So I really do think that we'll run up to the 1, where it'll be 1 for 1, and then I'll start to scale back into Pulsechain, depending on what the USD value is. Maybe I'll start taking profit. The beauty about the PulseX versus Pulse pair is that the price could be going down and or the price could be going up, but this could be climbing up regardless of the USD price. So if Pulsechain and PulseX are going down, maybe PulseX is actually going down at a smaller rate, or at a less intense rate than the Pulse pair. So this would actually be increasing as well. I do think we are going to be 1 for 1. So I will be holding my PulseX for the target of 1 for 1, and then I'll start trading into the Pulse native token for Pulsechain. And depending on any of the other tokens coming out, like we sacrificed for liquid loans, BankX, I'll start playing the ecosystem and I'll see what comes out of all of that. Let me know if you guys have any tokens, any new projects, whatever it may be, on the Pulse chain, on BRC20net, whatever it may be. Post it in the comments. We'll take a look at that. This is why I'm holding PulseX. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.